Hi viewers, welcome to another episode with the Decipher. Like I always say, thank you, mucho gracias, gracias muchos. I want to say thank you to those guys who subscribe every day. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you. All right, today, if you see the thumbnail, you see exactly what it says. Yes, make America Christian again. It's been signed into law. So for my non-religious believers in America, I don't know how you guys are going to take this. Pause. No Didi. But I think this is going to be quite a little bit difficult, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to share you some of the things that I found, because I get to find out that especially the Fox News and the CNN, they always have all kind of different propaganda why they pass all kind of news. But sometimes it's good for you to really learn how to, understand what those news are meant for. Okay? Yes, some of them, they do come with the right intention, but you and I know that in most cases that is not true. In most cases, those news are meant to flabbergast you, or change the dynamic, so you forget yourself. But that is why I'm here to give you the feedback. Let me show you the news. Let me drop it like it's hot. DJ, drop the track. Listen to this.
The Trump administration has released a new report calling for the injection of Christianity and religion in essentially all facets of American life, saying that Americans should remember religion as a, quote, essential support, and always remember, quote, the creator who made us and bestows our right. This 224-page report recommended that the Justice Department issue guidance to promote an originalist understanding of how the Constitution sees the relationship between religion and government, essentially ending any notion of separation of church and state in American society. It calls for faith-based groups to no longer have to comply with civil rights laws, calls for public schools to be allowed to conduct religious displays, and only mentions the display of the Ten Commandments. And it called for the end of the Johnson Amendment, which bars nonprofits from making political endorsements in campaigns. This comes ahead of America's 250th anniversary in just 1 week. The administration is actively pushing to inject religion, but specifically Christian values, in all parts of American life, and you need to know about it. So spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Yeah, that was the first part of it that kind of really scares me a little bit, because it's official now, ladies and gentlemen. Because now, not only that it's official, now it's what's going to be happening moving forward. They've passed it into law. Now, make America Christian country again, or make America Christian again, which I'm not saying is bad, but for some reason, you and I both know that there is a lot of things when it comes to religion, especially Christianity, and for the last 80 years, all I can see is that there's been a lot of justification why there's so much wars going on. And when you slice it, cut it, there's always three things that always falls down to. Tribalistic war, wars of ideology, wars of religion, and now they're mandating it to the country that is completely divided already. That people, they don't even believe in religion. Many people to stop going to church. Now you're now passing into law. Now it's not going to be an obligation now that you're going to succumb people to religion that they don't want to believe in. That is going to start a whole new fresh problems in the country. Why? Like, I'm just saying, if you want to pass any kind of law, these are the sort of laws that they need to be passing now? Really? And it's really sad. It's extremely, really sad, because now this is going to start a whole new kind of situation now. Another form of distraction. Another form of distraction is what it's going to be. Let me show you the video that, when he was talking about signing it. You understand? So you can see with your two naked eyes. Watch.
It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car. They were arresting people for fixing. That's not even believable. Anyway, so it's right to fix, and I think it's really common sense. If somebody wants to fix, some of these people are better mechanics than the mechanics in the shop. They're telling the mechanic in the shop how to fix their car or their truck. We signed the truck one a little while ago. So I'm going to sign this, and I'll be happy about it. We rule by common sense to a large extent.
As you can see right there, he signed it. So it's a visual. Make America Christian again. Yeah, this is gonna start a whole new kind of it's gonna open a whole different kind of warm. Because some of the responsibility that comes with Christianity is off the rail. Some of the morals, the ethics that come with Christianity is off the rail. We're talking about some people that they've never been to church in their life, but they can write policy about Christianity. They can tell you, they can mandate it for you to go to church. In fact, they can tell your pastors to condition your mindset for you to stop thinking and asking relevant questions about your life, about the things that you should do. But these are not the things that you really want to pay attention to. But President Trump can sign into law now, make America Christian again. And some of the things that I've come to realize lately is that a lot of people, they can't really think for themselves. You see, this is this conversation now. If you're a grown adult, if your concentration is still based on left, right, you're fooled. You're sadly mistaken. You are seriously, sadly mistaken. Even down to President Obama, who is being loved lately. Tell me which American president has come in the last 50 years that hasn't gone to war. Who? And all this religious ideology that they want to implement, how do you think they're going to take it? Imagine people don't know about this law. This is the thing again that really confuses me. There seems to be a lot of time whereby they will pass all these laws and you won't know about it. I'm muted. Can you hear me? What do you mean you can't hear me? Of course I can. Wait. Hello? Oh. Of course I can hear myself. All right, fair enough. I fell for that. It's all right. Let's keep it stepping. You understand? It's really sad because unfortunately you will find that anytime there's crisis or anything like that, there seems to be like a different kind of agendas. That is when they pass all kind of laws. That is when they sign all kind of deals. A little distraction there, but something else is going on over there. These are the things that happens every time, every day. And you be oblivious about it because they pass it into law. Make America Christian again. That is the truth. So watch out when they started saying things in the name of Jesus or whatever it is, and you don't believe in it, and you say you don't want to participate in it. Now you're going to be breaking the law technically because the man in charge have signed it. Now, my conversation is not about teasing or trolling President Trump or calling him what kind of names. I don't need to do that. There's no need. But the outcome from these actions, for me, those are the things that really matters the most. Because a lot of people are not going to take this very well. Now it's going to be another political conversation now moving forward. CNN, NNBC, CBC, CSS, FFF, YYY, DDD, they're all going to take this on and they're going to chew it on for the next couple of weeks. But your house rent is not going down. I was information gathering last night, and I found out that China now is about, they have the checkmate. They're going to start pushing it now. China is buying all the gold in the world. Okay? You will find out that a lot of you that have a lot of IOU in your hand from gold bullion, you will find out your paper doesn't worth shit no more. If you have those gold bullion paper, they tell you that this paper that I'm holding is equivalent to 1 kilo of gold. You're fooling yourself. China is buying all the gold. They're about to change it. Now, I've been talking about this on this live stream for a while. The final puzzle is there. Because once the yen now can be backed by stocked gold in Shanghai, when they can stock those golds there, say, hey, yen is equivalent to $1. It's over. Bam. Yeah. And the information gathering I saw yesterday made me realize that they actually have something in plan because this has always been the backup plan. Because America has actually devalued the value of gold initially because these are the things they can use to inflates the value of gold, which is going to be backed by the dollar. So they're going to do the very similar thing that China is doing physically. But America will do it how they like to do it. They will do it by paper. Then the banks will start printing it out. Oh, miraculously, that $180 trillion accumulated debt, you see, it will disappear. Then before you know now, there's going to be more issues. Because that is going to trickle, or it's going to trigger a different kind of response to it. Then it's going to create a open place that these bankers, these billionaires, they will have more money again. But that doesn't mean your rent is going down. It doesn't mean that how you feel on the inside, because you don't want to live your life based on Christian religion or Christian beliefs. That doesn't take it away, because you can see it right there. He signed it into law. He signed it into law. Like I said, I don't need to disrespect the man. I don't need to. For me, it's just, you will see these boomers generation, these grown-ups, they tend to just take actions and do things without thinking about the consequences of what is going to come to. They will just listen to one particular story, 1, 2, or 3 few incidents in this world. I know it is not like, that stupid Australian man that went to unalive a 17-year-old girl in Thailand. No, that is not that one. I'm talking about things like this that is way much more personal in every kind of way, because I promise you, in the next 2-3 days, go and watch CNN and NBC. You will see they'll start talking about it. How can America become only Christian country? But yet, you're still struggling. But a lot of people don't give a shit anymore, because I'll show you another video. That video was crazy, man. The 250 years celebration. Oh, God. It was horrific. I'll show you. It was really that bad. It was that bad. But let's get back to the normal show. DJ, drop the track.
And alone that can comfort us through a higher power. When governments can take away your religious liberty, they're putting their hand in your heart and taking everything you believe in. And if governments can do that, then they become God. The president spoke earlier today of the communist threat in this country. We know what communists do around the world. They remove God. They close the churches. They punish the believers. And so this is so important at this point in time in history. And we didn't know about this communist movement a year ago when we were here. But this is the perfect time to stand up and say to America, you have been given this great inheritance and you deserve to have religious liberty. The key is that after 103 witnesses, after 7 months of testimony, after 200 pages of testimony that we're delivering today, we found there was one constant theme. The overwhelming majority of our witnesses said that they were attacked and punished, and what was used against them was one phrase that's not in the Constitution, and that phrase is separation of church and state. The left has used that one phrase that was one line out of one of hundreds of letters by Thomas Jefferson to batter and hammer people of faith for the last 70 to 80 years. And this report will speak very clearly that we want to be sure Americans understand that they cannot be attacked by that phrase any longer. So we have 12 recommendations. I'll read the first 6. My great vice chairman will read the next 6, and then members will speak to these issues. So, Mr. President, recommendation number 1, instruct the Department of Justice to issue guidance clarifying the proper understanding of the Establishment Clause and the separation of church and state. Number 2, the Department of Justice, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission shall issue Know Your Rights posters for students, parents, public teachers, administrators, religious leaders, religious institution, healthcare workers, and military service members. Ben Carson, I'll let you finish with the remaining 7. 6. Go ahead.
Combat anti-Semitism through enforcement of civil rights laws.
Hold on a second. Why is the black man was one reading about anti-Semitism? Oh my God. You can't make this shit up, I swear to God. You cannot.
Litigation of credible allegations of anti-Semitic discrimination and violence, and civic education. Protect religious Americans from government-led litigation targeting their free exercise. Repeal the Johnson Amendment. Order the Department of War to streamline and improve the religious accommodation process. Continue efforts to restore the retirement or reenlistment eligibility of service members who lost employment, health insurance, pensions, and other benefits because of their religious beliefs about COVID and vaccines. And lastly, honor the courage of religious liberty heroes through creating a Presidential Medal of Religious Liberty and First Freedom Hero Awards to recognize Americans who stand up for religious freedom and play an indispensable role in protecting citizens' constitutional rights. And Mr. President, we just want to thank you, first of all, for appointing us to this commission, and secondly, for your steadfast dedication to religious liberty. I don't think anybody has done as much as you have, maybe not everybody else put together. And some people in the beginning thought it was just fake, it was just politics, but you've been steadfast throughout the whole thing. And it's a big part of America. Our founding document says that our rights come from our Creator and not from government. And people who try to divorce us from that heritage, do they realize that that's in our founding document? Do they realize that our Pledge of Allegiance says we are one nation under God? Do they realize that many courtrooms in the land on the wall it says in God we trust? That every coin in their pocket, every bill in their wallet says in God we trust? So if it's in all those places, but we're not supposed to talk about it, maybe we need to see a psychiatrist.
Thank you.
Other members?
Would anybody like to say anything? Dr. Phil?
Mr. President, I want to underline that this wasn't a performative commission. I remember walking in there, the Attorney General's there, walking in the next one, the President of the United States is there, seeing what's going on with the commission. And what stuck out at me, for me, is how many Americans showed up saying that they were persecuted in healthcare, military, education, different walks of life for living their faith and standing up for their faith. It's not just the liberty to choose which house of worship they want. It's actually getting into their daily life, and they're being persecuted in their jobs, in their professions. And that's where the fight for liberty is actually showing up. And they're having the courage to come and talk about that. They can't show a cross on their desk at school. They can't refuse a vaccine because it's against their religion. And they're having the courage to stand up for that, and President Trump is backing them all the way. And this commission is making it all transparent.
Okay, so earlier...
I just want to pause it for a second. So that is the reason why they passed this into law. I'm just saying that. Is this just happening now? This has been happening for a very, very long time, but why pass the law now? Good Lord, have mercy. The most annoying part of it is that I promise you there's another part of this world now. They're going to take this on board. And anytime you find any of your politicians, wherever you are watching this from, once they start talking about this, just know that there's a new agenda going on then. So they want to flip the script. It's going to be, Christian against Muslim. Christian against Muslim. So one thing I really want to say about that video with those gentlemen and a lady, or maybe one or two there, is that what's your Bible that you guys like to quote quite a lot? Okay? What does the Bible say about the people who suffer from the Epstein files? What does the Bible say about it? What does the Bible say about the people who commit atrocities that you can't even begin to fathom? What does your Bible say about it? All right, you care about the ones that, because people don't want them to bring their Jesus into the workplace, because some people might not believe in. So why can't they assimilate with other people who don't believe? Is it a must for people who have to believe in Jesus? Is it a must for people who have to believe in Muhammad? What if people don't want to believe in nothing? Are they not allowed to live their life? Why do Christians struggle to assimilate with other people that don't have the same belief as they do? So it just gives me to access a different kind of questions in my head. What if I wasn't a Christian? I don't think I really know exactly what it feels like not to be a Christian. It's just a genuine question, really, that I think most people never thought. What if I'm not a Muslim? What do I think my life would be if I never believe in Islam? What my life would be if I never believe in Christianity? What my life would be if I never believe in Judaism? What my life would be if I don't believe in Buddha? So every time they do things like this, they kind of ignite people in every part of this world for them to have a different motive, which their ethics is gonna be questioned. Their morality will be put on the table. Then they'll take actions and do things against other people. But we are talking about some of the most richest people on the planet of this earth. Many of them haven't been to church in the last 15, 20 years. But they care so much about the things that's going on in religion. But that same religion that you're advocating for, you've never even opened the book. For you to talk about the people, that the same people who signing this deal, that they're hurting every day. Your book does not show that. But you can advocate on the behalf and you can go and sign all kind of deals. It's just to show you the level of degeneracy. I'm telling you, of all in my lifetime, this boomer generation, they're some of the most dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. Because when I look into my YouTube algorithm, the people that watch me the most, they're people 65 years and old. I know many of you are watching it. Maybe you're in your sick bed or you're in a retirement home. You don't have anything to watch. Your generation is the worst generation that this world has ever produced. Your selfish greed, the boomer generation, they are the worst generation by far. I know they're trying to get a lot of things right, but you damn sure you get a whole lot of things wrong. Because look, let me show it again. Look at this. What do you see here? What do you see here? It's a generation of old men who are passing law without consideration of what it's going to do to the men today. Yeah. As soon as I said the boomers are the people that watch me the most, my viewership dropped. Yes, I mean, I'm calling you out. Your generation is the worst generation by far, and it's not even close. Because many of you, you're spineless. The boomer generation, many of you, you're spineless. You don't have guts. It's the same thing that we're dealing with today. Hug everything. The generation is going to live life worse than they had it. Many of all these men, tell me how many of them don't have about 4, 5, 6, 7 properties? How many? How many of these men have ever gone to live in those trailer parks that people don't have enough? How many of those men have ever gone to do it? 0. But they can wear their fucking stupid suits. They can jump from one part of the world to another part of the world. Boomers generation, they are the worst generation by far. And it's not even close. And another thing again, when are we this next generation? When are we going to take the baton? Because these dinosaurs, they're never going to drop it. They will keep passing stupid laws. They will come with stupid justification why they're going to do a lot of dumb, stupid things every day. Look at them. These are the men deciding your future. Even your future is your present. Your past is your present. And yet, your life is still shit. Because we have a group of people like this that their mentality is just really off the rail. And that is the reason why They went down to White House and they signed into law. Now there's going to be a lot of religious tension now in America moving forward. Because once it gets to America, you best believe it's going to come here to Australia. It will go to Europe. It will go to everywhere else again. Because that place, like I said, America is coronavirus 2.0. Any shit you think about in this world, once it starts from there, it's going to transfer to the rest of the world. That is how it works. I beg, let's move on.
Parent.
Okay, so earlier today, I checked out the preparations for Donald Trump's 250th birthday party for America, which is having some attendance issues.
Happy early birthday, America. We're celebrating already at the Great American State Fair. Man, we've got thousands of people celebrating this birthday with us.
Sometimes the pictures really don't tell the full story, because if you look behind us, you see, okay, there are a couple hundred people back there, but the truth is when you make your way over here and you're in a wash of people.
There are thousands of people here, and I'll tell you what, that's with rain, with everything else going on, the fact that it is heightened security just because of the world right now, it's really an awesome crowd.
That is so sad. This picture really captures the problem. One of the organizers posted this photo of a performance on the National Mall. If you zoom in, let's do it, on the guitarist's sunglasses, boy, you can see a crowd of less than a dozen people in the reflection. The organizers appear to have recently deleted that image from the social media feed, replacing it instead with this image of the performance, cropping out the guitarist and his really cool shades.
This is insane.
I'm just saying, that gathering, I want to find out how much money it cost American government to host this party. That maybe 200 or 300 people came out of 300 million. That's what I want to know. I want to know how much money it's going to cost. I want to know what that money that they used to organize this party, what could they have done with the money? How much life could they have helped and improved with that money that they used to organize that party, to celebrate 250 years? We're talking about the most disorganized, organized, chaos, unchaos. I mean, everything you can think about it. They spent celebrating 250 years of nothing. Yes, they've accomplished a lot of great things. They've done some great things. Like Trump would say, some beautiful, beautiful things. Yeah. I heard you. Yeah, but what can we show for it? I just want to know how many people came to the festival. Because I'm sure that is at least. I'll ask AI after this. I'll ask AI how much money was spent to do this 250 years celebration. Because there's maybe like 300 people, 200 people came out of 300 million people. Let's continue.
Does anyone else not think this is an insane world we live in? This is on C-SPAN. Wild stuff.
Thank you, Chairman Aguilar. There was supposed to be a big signing ceremony today in the Capitol, and then all of a sudden, Donald Trump decides he's not coming to sign the bill. Well, why is that? Did he wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Is he unable to stay awake today? What's causing him to chicken out again? Is it Taco Wednesday? Or is this
He's surrounded by architects trying to find out how to improve the reflecting pool.
side effects from a drug?
Oh.
We don't know. This erratic behavior of the president is very concerning. He has trouble staying awake at multiple White House events and cabinet meetings. He has clearly some weakness in one of his arms. He's got swelling in his hands. And the White House needs to come clean. What we know is there's a report saying that one person in America got this special new drug. It was a 79-year-old person who was very high profile, and this drug can only be given to someone under the compassionate use provision, meaning you do that if someone basically has a terminal illness.
So Ted Lieu here is saying that he's implying that Donald Trump is receiving a drug not passed by the FDA, that no one else is getting, that is for someone with terminal illness, and that's why he's got the bruising, that's why he's not doing that pull thing that he does when he shakes people's hands, because he's weak, and he's got the saggy thing happening and all of that. This is an insane accusation to be making from a government official. What does he know?
So we need to know, did Donald Trump get this special drug from Eli Lilly? And did he get it under that provision? And if he did, why is that the case?
This is insane.
President Trump now needs to pay E. Jean Carroll $5 million after the Supreme Court said it will not take up his appeal of a 2023 jury verdict that found that he sexually abused and defamed her. Now, that case centered around allegations that Trump had sexually assaulted Carroll in a New York department store in the 90s. He then went on to say that she made the whole thing up to boost sales of her book.
And I say it with as much respect as I can, but she is not my type.
President Trump has appealed that verdict all the way here to the Supreme Court, but they have repeatedly delayed deciding whether they take up the case. They didn't explain what took so long, but we finally have an answer. Now, the Supreme Court may have to deal with a very similar question soon because Trump had a second trial against Carroll in 2024. That jury awarded her $83 million for defamation. Trump's lawyers are expected to appeal that case back here to the Supreme Court in the coming days.
You know, one of the things that's quite very interesting about wealth, your morality, your ethics as an individual, it gets to a time really you just become very blind by it. You just don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want to do because you know you're never going to be held accountable. And even though if you want to be held accountable, you won't be able to. I'm working on a particular thing whereby I'm going to discuss the four musketeers. In 2026, I don't need to read history. I don't need to look at some psychology, some text that was written 25,000 fucking years ago. No. I'll go based on what I see now, today's data. 4 disciplines controls the world. 4 disciplines. And they're all interconnected with each other tremendously. I've said it a few times. I'll say it again for the first viewers, or if you're just watching this for the first time. These are the people that really control our lives. The billionaires, or we have 1 trillion here, allegedly. There's the billionaires, the politicians, okay, the billionaires, the politicians, the bankers, the banks. Then, lastly, the lawyers. What did they all have in common? Go and do your research, you find out. Because if I tell you, it won't make sense to you. Those 4 disciplines, they control this world. Who can afford influence at split of a second? A billionaire. If they want to get things done, they have friends in all the high places, like they call it. So they need to call a friend of a friend who knows a friend who knows a politician. Man, the government, you guys are squeezing me for all these tax laws and all this shit. What can we do about it? Okay, look, I don't do anything for free. There's an offshore shell account for you with 20 million. So yeah, I need you. What can we do? What kind of legislation can you pass for them to reduce this? They're squeezing me for all this tax. Politician, offshore accounts, the money that never was onshore, so it's untraceable. In a stranger's name, or somebody that is, they will use their name to create shell account. That's how they do it. They will hide the money there, and all you're gonna find out is that your politicians just flip on a second. It's changed. No, we got to advocate. Oh no. And when they want to pass the law, they're not going to pass the law when you can question it. They'll wait for when chaos is going around. That is when they, you know that thing we talked about. Let's just sign it. Yeah. Anytime they write policies, ladies and gentlemen, policy. We used to think policies that they're writing policy because they give a shit. No, policy is money. The one that President Trump signed, that is money. There's 2 things policy does. Okay? People need to reframe their mind how they look at policies. Policy does 2 things. It extracts money or it releases money. That's what policy does. Policy, it extracts money or it releases money. That's how it works. And you best believe it. If it released $10, you best believe it's $20, $50, $100 is coming back. Or that policy, once they release it, is gonna bring money in. That is what policies are. I've said it buoyantly here on my live stream. Law is a fucking scam. What is written on the piece of paper can be changed, amended, void. They can come to every fucking reason. The bottom line is that there has to be the people who gain from it, and there has to be people who lose from it. That is how it works. There is no in between about it. And I want a PhD holder to come and refute what I'm saying. Deny it. Policy does two things: releases funds, extracts funds. Now, you best believe it. Once it releases funds, if it releases $100, you best believe it, $200, $500 is coming back. Because how are they going to calculate the spending? And what are the returns that comes from it? So policies are not passed because they were trying to fix your problem because you're a Christian. You're dumb. You're stupid. And that is what's going to happen with this law that they just passed. If you think they're passing the law because they care about you, you're dumb. You're... Oh, shit.
Emotional damage.
Oh, my boy, man. I swear to God. If you think they passed this law because they care about you being a Christian, you are dumb. You are so dumb. You're dumb far up in your ass. But, hey, what do I know? I'm just a black man. We never finished primary school. So what do I know? Like I always say, thinking is not illegal, people. Thinking is not illegal. It is now official. America is a Christian country once again. Signed, sealed by President Trump. If you think I'm lying, rewind this video, you watch it, you say it. I beg,